This morning, an entire small neighborhood was abuzz over an unexpected incident. A 73-year-old woman, healthy, cheerful, still going to the market and cooking on her own, with no underlying health conditions, suddenly collapsed to the floor just seconds after getting out of bed. There were no warning signs, no dizziness, no chest pain. A morning that seemed completely normal suddenly turned into a shock, not only for her family, but for all of us. Because the scariest part is, this could just as easily happen to you. The truth is, every morning, millions of people over the age of 60 unknowingly repeat seemingly harmless little habits that are actually weakening the heart, thickening the blood, causing balance issues, blood pressure disturbances, and even increasing the risk of stroke, all within the first 5 minutes after waking up. And you won't realize it until a fall happens, or a sudden fainting spell leaves you unable to get up again. In this video, I'll share the 5 most dangerous morning mistakes that older adults often make and how to correct them in just 2 to 3 minutes each morning so you can protect your energy, maintain your balance, and continue living independently for many more years. Stay until the end of the video because mistake number 5 is the most dangerous yet rarely mentioned, even though it could be the silent cause behind losing mobility. Hit like if you ever thought mornings just meant wake up and that's it, and leave a comment. I choose to protect my health every day, starting with the smallest things. This is your first commitment to your future. Have you ever noticed that the way you wake up in the morning affects the rest of your day? Not just your mood, but also your blood pressure, balance, reaction speed, heart rate, and even your risk of falling. After the age of 60, the body no longer reacts as quickly as it used to. The nervous system slows down, blood vessels become less elastic, and blood pressure regulation loses its former precision. That's why many people feel dizzy, experience a racing heart, or stumble when they get out of bed just a little too quickly. You're not sick. Your body is simply transitioning from a state of deep rest to one of activity. And if you force it to jump up too quickly, it won't be able to respond in time. It may seem small, but the consequences are significant. According to a statistic from the CDC, over 30% of fall-related injuries in people over 65 occur within 2 hours of waking up. And most of them happen right at home, in the bedroom or bathroom. That means the danger isn't out there. It begins right within your morning routine. While you sleep, your blood pressure and heart rate drop, blood flow slows down, and joint fluids move less. Even the brain needs a few minutes to reboot. Suddenly shifting to a standing position, drinking coffee, or rushing to the bathroom without a transition is like forcing a car to start at high speed while the engine is still cold. That's why geriatric experts call the morning the most sensitive time of day for older adults. However, here's the good news. We can completely transform this vulnerable moment into an opportunity to rebalance. With a few small changes, at the right time, in the right order, you can help your body stabilize blood pressure, increase blood flow to the brain, improve balance, reduce the risk of early morning arrhythmia, and most importantly, protect your ability to live independently for the long term. This isn't just theory. In many slow living traditions across Asia, such as Buddhism, Japanese Zen, and Indian Ayurveda, the morning is considered the most important daily ritual. They never spring out of bed immediately, but always begin with gentle movements, slow breathing, and body awareness, as a way to show gratitude to themselves. And today, modern science completely agrees with that philosophy. Imagine you've just opened your eyes in the morning. As usual, within less than 5 seconds, you push yourself up, step out of bed, and start moving. It may sound normal, even energetic, but for the body after age 60, this is a sudden shock to the entire cardiovascular and nervous system. What actually happens when you spring up? Throughout the night while you sleep, your blood pressure drops, blood vessels dilate, blood circulation slows down, and your muscles are nearly in a completely relaxed state. The brain also receives less blood because your body is lying flat. It doesn't have to fight against gravity. When you suddenly sit up and stand, blood rushes down to your legs faster than it can be pumped back up to your brain. The result? You may experience a condition called orthostatic hypotension. It causes sudden dizziness, lightheadedness or blurred vision, a feeling of weak or unsteady legs, even loss of consciousness for a few seconds. And the scariest part? You don't need to have heart disease or high blood pressure to experience this. Even healthy individuals over 60 can encounter it, simply because the body's blood pressure regulation and balance reflexes have slowed down with age. Many serious falls happen right in the bedroom, within the first few minutes after getting out of bed, and the consequences can be bone fractures, head injuries, or loss of independence lasting for months. So what should you do? Start your morning with a simple ritual lasting less than 2 minutes, recommended by Buddhist monks and physical therapy experts. 1. When you open your eyes, don't rush to get up. Take 2 to 3 deep breaths and feel your breath gently awakening your body. 2. Move lightly. Open and close your hands. Rotate your wrists, stretch your toes, gently shake your feet. 3. Slowly turn to one side and stay in a side-lying position for 5 to 10 seconds. 4. Sit up slowly, place your feet on the ground, keep your back straight, and look forward. Don't tilt your head down. Sit still for 20 to 30 seconds, rotate your neck, breathe evenly, and tap your heels lightly on the floor. With just this small habit, you're helping stabilize blood flow to the brain, reducing the risk of low blood pressure, activating balance muscles, and protecting your ability to stay steady throughout the day. You don't need to do anything drastic to prevent falls. Just pause for 2 minutes at the start of the day to respect your body's natural way of waking up. And sometimes that small act can save you from 6 months in a cast. Many older adults have the habit of getting out of bed and going straight to the bathroom, taking their medication, or making coffee. But they skip something simple, essential, and extremely important: drinking water right after waking up. You don't feel thirsty, but that doesn't mean your body doesn't need water. During the 6 to 8 hours of sleep, your body is still working. The heart keeps beating, the lungs keep breathing, the brain continues processing information, and the liver continues detoxifying. All these activities silently consume water, even though you're not physically active. When you open your eyes, your body is already in a state of mild dehydration. And if you don't rehydrate immediately, what follows is a chain of unwanted effects. Blood becomes thicker, which forces the heart to pump harder, leading to an increased risk of early morning heart attacks. Slower circulation, which leads to reduced oxygen supply to the brain, causing dizziness and delayed reactions. Blood pressure becomes unstable, increasing the risk of falls. The kidneys and liver function less efficiently. Over time, there is a higher risk of stroke and chronic heart failure. The biggest problem is people over 60 often no longer clearly feel thirst. This causes many to unintentionally skip drinking water until symptoms appear without an obvious cause, such as fatigue, headaches, lack of concentration, or even fainting. Remember Mrs. Mary, 76 years old, still walked on her own, cooked, and was generally healthy. But for many months, she experienced mild dizziness in the morning, difficulty concentrating, and fatigue when standing up. Thinking it was just old age, she did nothing, until one morning she fainted briefly in the kitchen. Diagnosis: prolonged mild dehydration and unstable blood pressure. Treatment: a glass of plain water every morning right after waking up. After just 2 weeks of following this routine, her symptoms almost completely disappeared. In the life philosophy of Eastern monks, there is a wise saying: before the body acts, nourish it with the most basic element, water. No tea, no coffee, no news, just a cool, pure glass of water. So what should you do? Prepare a glass of plain water and keep it by your bedside. Drink it immediately after opening your eyes before getting out of bed or taking any medication. If it's hard to drink a full glass, start with a few sips, and you can add a few drops of fresh lemon or a slice of ginger. Warm water is not necessary. Room temperature is ideal to avoid startling the heart. Remember, thirst is a late signal. Prevention is the smart move. Just one glass of water in the morning could be your shield to protect your heart, brain, and balance all day long. For many people, The day doesn't truly begin until that first sip of coffee. The aroma, the warmth in your hands, the feeling of alertness. It's a familiar morning ritual. But if you drink coffee on an empty stomach, especially after the age of 60, that seemingly harmless habit could be silently harming you every day. When you first wake up, your stomach is empty, your stomach acid levels are high, and the mucosal lining is very sensitive. Pouring coffee, which strongly stimulates acid production, directly into the stomach at this time is like pouring boiling water into a pan without oil. The consequences? Irritation of the stomach lining, stomach pain, bloating, indigestion, increased risk of ulcers and acid reflux, can cause palpitations, shaky hands, and rapid heartbeat, especially in people with heart conditions, affects mood, sleep quality, and may even reduce medication absorption. The story of Mr. John, 75 years old, is a typical example. For 40 years, he maintained a simple habit. Every morning, even before brushing his teeth, he brewed and drank a strong cup of black coffee. At first, he felt fine, but gradually he began experiencing bloating, chest burning, poor digestion, insomnia, and a vague sense of anxiety. He visited many clinics, yet no clear cause was found, until a nutritionist asked a single question. When do you usually drink your coffee? The solution: just eat a little something beforehand, a banana, a piece of bread, or a few almonds before drinking coffee. The result: in less than 2 weeks, he felt lighter in the stomach, slept better, and no longer experienced morning palpitations. In the culture of many Buddhist monasteries and Japanese Zen temples, there is an unchanging principle. Before stimulating the nervous system, nourish it with stability. They always eat a light snack before deep meditation or drinking strong tea to protect the digestive system, support the nervous system, and maintain inner calm. You can do the same. No need to give up coffee, just change the order. After drinking water, eat a light snack, a slice of whole grain bread, a soft fruit, like a banana or pear, a spoonful of oats, or a few almonds. Then after 10 to 15 minutes, enjoy your coffee as usual. This method not only reduces stomach irritation, but also helps your body absorb caffeine more slowly and steadily, avoiding the common energy spike and crash a few hours later. Let your morning cup of coffee be a source of joy, not a silent contributor to illness. When you first wake up, you may feel some tightness in your back, stiffness in your shoulders, or heaviness in your legs. Many people over 60 experience this sensation every morning, but often ignore it, stand up, walk a few steps, and start their day as usual. But that is the mistake. Morning muscle stiffness is not a minor issue. It is an important signal from your body. It is a warning that your muscles, joints, and motor nervous system are still asleep. And if you force them to work too soon, you will pay the price. While sleeping, the body stays in a motionless position for many hours. Joint fluid is not circulated, muscles and ligaments contract slightly, and circulation slows down. This makes joints like the knees, hips, neck, and back less flexible and more prone to injury immediately after waking. If you get up and walk right away without gently warming up first, you may stretch muscles or ligaments, leading to soreness lasting all day, slightly dislocate a joint or experience sudden cramps, causing loss of balance, fall due to muscles not reacting in time, especially in people with arthritis, back pain, or Parkinson's disease. The story of Mrs. Margaret, 79 years old, is a clear example. She had always been a very healthy, cooking for herself and gardening every morning. But recently she began feeling heavy in the legs each morning and had to shuffle a few steps to get used to walking. One morning, she got up quickly before her knees had fully stretched and fell sideways, hitting her hip on the bed. Fortunately, no bones were broken, but she completely lost confidence in standing up on her own afterward. Just 2 to 3 minutes of gentle warm-up while still lying or sitting on the bed can safely awaken your entire muscular joint balance system. A simple morning warm-up routine while still lying in bed. 1. Gently flex and extend your feet 10 times each foot. 2. Rotate wrists and ankles in circular motions. 3. Clasp your hands, stretch them toward the ceiling, and elongate your whole body 4. Turn your head gently left and right 3 to 4 times 5. Lightly massage your thighs, arms, and the back of your neck. When sitting up, sit on the edge of the bed. Rotate your shoulders, stretch your back lightly, and take 3 deep breaths. When standing, keep your spine straight and look forward. Do not lower your head. In Eastern philosophy, the morning is not a time to jump up, but a time to activate the body with respect. They believe those who listen to their body in the morning will preserve their freedom of movement for a long time. And science agrees. Just a few minutes of light morning warm-up can reduce the risk of falls and musculoskeletal pain in older adults by up to 43%, according to the National Institute on Aging. There is a habit that almost everyone does, but few pay attention to: the posture when getting out of bed. Many older adults, after a night's sleep, stand up with a hunched body, slouched shoulders, eyes looking down at the floor, and a slightly curved back. You might think, I just woke up, I'll straighten up later. But that very moment, repeated every morning, silently wears down your health, balance, and self-confidence. What does incorrect morning posture cause? Limits lung expansion, reducing oxygen supply to the blood, which leads to fatigue and dizziness. Shifts the body's center of gravity, making you more prone to losing balance, thus increasing the risk of falling. Compresses the abdominal area, slowing digestion, causing bloating and constipation. And something few expect, it directly affects emotions and memory. Research from Harvard Health shows that people with a hunched back and slouched shoulders often feel depressed, low on energy, and less focused than those who stand upright. Why? Because the brain interprets body posture as emotional signals. Remember Mrs. Helen, 81 years old. She loved physical activity and often walked every morning, but recently she started feeling slightly unsteady upon waking. Her family noticed she usually got out of bed with her head down, shoulders drooping, and back not straight. Just 2 weeks later, a slight slip caused her to fall, because her body had lost its ability to maintain balance due to repeated poor posture. You can change this, starting tomorrow morning. Before getting out of bed, perform the ritual of straightening the body. 1. Sit on the edge of the bed, feet touching the floor. 2. Take a deep breath. Lengthen your spine as if you want to grow 2 centimeters taller. 3. Open your shoulders back. Keep your chin parallel to the floor, eyes looking straight ahead. 4. Take a long breath, then start your first step. Never get out of bed with your body curled up. Your morning posture is how you greet the new day, and your body will respond accordingly. In Buddhist thought, posture is seen as a physical expression of inner strength. They believe those who wake up with a straight back will maintain their spirit even in storms. Today, science calls this central axis alignment, a vital factor to prevent falls and balance decline in old age. Let every first step of the day be a step of intention, not an unconscious step leading to later consequences. You might be thinking, I've been getting up like this for decades and nothing happened. That's what many people over 60 say, until a fall, a sudden drop in blood pressure, or a morning heart attack occurs. But listen carefully. The body not responding immediately doesn't mean it's not affected. It's just silently suffering. Imagine your body as a large bridge. Every morning you get out of bed the wrong way, like hammering a small nail into that bridge. One nail isn't a problem, but if every day for 5 to 10 years you hammer thousands of nails in the same spot, one day the bridge will collapse, suddenly without warning. Medicine calls this silent accumulation of microdamage, microtrauma. Habits such as getting up suddenly, not drinking water, drinking coffee on an empty stomach, skipping warm-up, poor standing posture may not cause problems today, but they gradually weaken blood vessels, reduce balance reflexes, weaken the spine, and wear down the motor nervous system. You don't fall suddenly. You have been falling gradually for years. It's just that today your body can no longer recover in time. In Zen Buddhism, there is a profound saying, what you unconsciously repeat every day shapes your destiny. So don't wait until your hand trembles holding a glass. Your legs can no longer stand firmly in the bathroom. One morning you wake up with blurred vision, dizziness, without knowing why. Remember, the greatest danger is not today's fall, but prolonged negligence. The good news is, the body has an amazing ability to recover. Once you start changing, even slightly, the positive process begins. Blood vessels contract more regularly, balance improves, heart rate stabilizes, digestion works smoothly, and your mind becomes more in control. You don't need to change your whole life. Just start slowing down by 2 minutes tomorrow morning and keep it up every day. That small change today will make a big difference in 5 years. There are things no one teaches us, like how to get out of bed each morning. But these small, repeated actions form the foundation of freedom or dependence as we pass 60. Today, we have looked clearly at 5 seemingly harmless morning mistakes. 1. Getting up too fast, causing low blood pressure and increasing fall risk. 2. Not drinking water, starting the body in a state of low blood and oxygen. 3. Drinking coffee on an empty stomach, causing stomach inflammation, affecting the heart and mood. 4. Ignoring morning stiffness, making joints vulnerable and muscles lose reflexes. 5. Wrong posture stepping out of bed, affecting balance, breathing, and spirit. We don't change out of fear, but because we want to live actively, alert, and not become a burden to loved ones. No one else can do this for you, but you can start tomorrow morning. It only takes 3 minutes. And each morning after, your body will respond with stability, strength, and control, things medicine cannot buy. Let's make a small commitment now by commenting below. 1. I am making mistake number 1. 2. I will try the new morning ritual starting tomorrow. 3. I have fallen before, and now I want to be more proactive. 4. I choose to protect my freedom through the smallest things. Which one do you choose? We read every comment because you will inspire someone quietly needing change. Don't wait for another morning. Freedom in old age begins in the first 2 minutes of the day, and you can choose again, starting today.